Welcome to Sovereign State, the podcast where we share our unfiltered opinions as a family on current events and trending topics.
Welcome to Sovereign State. Thanks for tuning in. I am Queen, and I'm over here with
Zaquan Gabar.
How you doing?
You know what it is, Dykeman, NYC.
Hey.
All day, every day.
Hey. So, today's agenda, real quick off the top, the Second Amendment. I want to talk about the Second Amendment.
Second Amendment, 2A.
The right to bear arms. And the reason why I'm coming up with that is because I was just on the phone with my friend, and we just talking about whatever, and a topic came up. A story came up.
What's the story?
She says, hey, did you watch on the news the story about the 3 cops that got fired in North Carolina? And I'm like, what you mean? And she was like, they got fired because they were in the patrol car. Okay, 2 partners were in the patrol car, and they didn't realize that they were recording themselves. And one of the things that they were talking about is that they wanted, one of them was like, I want to go buy me a new rifle so I could shoot these niggas. So I don't know who put it out, the audio, but apparently it was out and whatnot. And so I'm like, oh, wow, okay, that's messed up. And she was like, you see? This is why I don't think people should have guns.
What does that have to do with the police?
It has nothing to do with the police. It has to do with the amendment number 2. What she said was, well, you see, this is why regular people shouldn't have guns.
Wait. I'm kind of confused. There were 2 cops that were recorded saying,
oh, well, yeah, you're right. They're cops, so they're not regular people. They're law enforcement. But what she's saying is she does not agree with people having guns. You know, citizens, okay? So I replied with, whoa, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. You could look at it in 2 perspectives, okay? Mm-hmm. You could look at it in the liberal perspective, which is what she is, okay? Which is, hey, guns kill people. Or you could look at it in the perspective that
people kill people.
We do.
Right.
Which is what you just said. People kill people, not guns. Guns don't kill people. I could kill you with a knife just as bad as I could kill you with a gun, right?
Correct.
So I'm like, you could look at it in 2 perspectives. So you could say, okay, they're not supposed to have weapons. Now these are cops, so it kind of changes the things a little bit. But really, they had malicious intent. They had criminal mentality. You know, they wanted to kill niggers. So you could say, okay, this is why we're not supposed to have guns. But shouldn't we have guns as the niggas to protect ourselves? And that's where I hit her. Like, wait a minute. This is when regular people need weapons, because what's going to happen is you see them, they already are in a position of authority by being law enforcement, right or wrong. So now you're already afraid of them because of that. On top of that, they have weapons, okay? Makes it even scarier. Why can't you protect yourself from people like that? And in order to do that, you have to be able to retaliate with weapons.
Correct. So first, I don't see the connection she made with police saying they're gonna go out and kill with regular citizens. I don't see.
No,
the connection
she was saying this is why she don't believe in guns. Okay, and then it just happened to be that these cops wanted to do this outside of their, you know, when they're working. Mm-hmm.
So what she's saying, get rid of guns even with the police and everybody?
We shouldn't. No, she said we shouldn't have guns as a citizen.
So but the same people
she only wants law enforcement to have. But look who is the ones that's trying to kill us.
Exactly.
It's the law enforcement. So I'm like, do you not understand that the right to bear arms is from the government? Like, we're protecting ourselves from the government?
Correct. It gives teeth to the other amendments. Without the Second Amendment, the other amendments, the other civil rights you have no teeth, meaning they have no power, because you as a citizen have you have to be able to defend those freedoms. And at any time that government, without you being without you being able to defend your freedoms, that government can easily take it away.
Yes.
Right?
Easy, because they
But we've been so lulled to sleep for so long that people are saying now, when you bring that up, they'll say, well, the government's not going to do that. They're good. You know, everything's
Right.
good. Everything, we live in paradise.
Who says that?
I mean,
Democrats.
yeah. I mean, you can say Democrats, but Republicans too. There's Republicans that say that. I'm not a Republican or Democrat.
Right.
They both, you know, the what's that? Wings of the same bird.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just follow common sense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Logic.
And I know that taking away the Second Amendment is not common sense.
No.
You know what I mean? Because it defends your freedom. Like, because the U.S. has over 300 million weapons out there in the street, the government is limited in how much they're going to encroach into your freedoms.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And she kept going, and
It keeps them in check. Yeah.
we kept, conversing or whatever. And she was like, well, I want for you to take me shooting. And I'm like, man, like everybody that comes visits me, I take them to the range. Why haven't I taken you? And you lived here and stuff, And she was just like, oh, I guess it's because you know how I feel about guns. And I was like, right. So I was like, maybe that's what it is. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take you or whatever. We'll see, it'll be fun. And she's like, yeah, it's something new. What was I getting to? How she's saying, well, you see, she doesn't know how to shoot. She doesn't know how to shoot. So I'm like, okay, you could take a class so that you can know how to use that weapon. And she goes, well, you see, this is what I mean. Why do I have to take a class to basically learn how to kill? And she didn't find that right. And I said, I don't agree with that.
It's not to learn how to kill.
Right. I don't agree with that. I think it's good to know how to use this weapon, just like it's great to learn any other thing, right or wrong. Mm-hmm. So let's say I have no need for IT. I don't do IT, but is it good for me to take a course on, how to troubleshoot a computer or something like that, because it'll benefit me at one point or another? Yes.
Right.
It's okay to take lessons when you don't need to put that in play, whatever it is you're learning. So why not?
Especially when you're afraid of something, you get, you start to recognize it, know how it works, and then you're like, oh, it's not that bad.
Correct.
I might not believe in it, but at least I know I'm not scared of it. I know it's like knowing your enemy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's a thing that I've noticed with the people that are against guns that I know of. They're afraid of the gun.
Because they don't have no knowledge. Or
afraid
anything.
of the unknown. Yeah. Ignorance. So, yes, take a class just so that you can know how to work this, piece of equipment, how to protect yourself. I mean, so just take the class. So she was like, oh, like, it's a waste of time. Not a waste of time, but it's like a burden to take that course. Pretty much just to learn how to kill. I'm like, bro.
I mean, to each his own. You know what I mean? I believe you have the right to choose that you don't believe in guns and you don't want to deal with it. But being that I think the opposite way, why are you pushing that on me? I'm not pushing guns on you. You see what I'm saying? If you don't believe in it, you don't want to use it, don't use it by all means. But I do, right? I want to be able to defend my home if anybody comes in, or you know what I mean?
Right.
And at the end of the day, if the government push comes to shove, just acts crazy one day, and citizens need to come out armed against the government because they want to take away rights without, no reason. You know what I mean? Like martial law, something crazy.
Yeah.
They want to put us in concentration camps. Well, we're ready. We have our weapons. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
At the end of the day, maybe it will happen. Maybe it'll, God forbid, you know.
Yes, sir.
But I have mine.
All right, I got a question. What would you do as a citizen who has a weapon, who owns weapons? I know you own weapons. What would you do if you hear this at 1 o'clock in the morning? What will you do?
At the house?
Yeah, you're in your home. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and you hear that outside. What will you do?
Well, at this point, right, I would go and grab mine. You know what I mean? Go and grab mine, load it up.
Absolutely.
Maybe see what's happening or whatever, and then call the police.
Now, what will you do if you don't have a weapon?
Oh, I'll be.
You go cower down.
I'll be shitting on myself.
You
and call the police real quick, but I'm gonna be like, what am I gonna do if they're coming in this house?
Exactly. You're not gonna step outside even.
No, I'm not coming to a gunfight with a knife either.
Absolutely. Like, if I was to hear that and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna grab my piece, and if anything, like if it continues or something, I'm gonna go to the door. Maybe not. Depends. You know, if it's really close, it might be too close. I might just be better off staying in my home with my doors closed.
Right.
But at the same time, hey, maybe somebody's in trouble. So I want to grab my piece and go see what's going on. But as somebody who doesn't, you just gonna stay in your house and forget about everything. That's it. I'm good in my home.
Yeah, but guess what? You just defunded the police.
Ah!
Ain't no police coming.
You so silly.
Facts.
Yeah,
so another thing I was thinking the other day, I was just thinking off the top. Where are they taking away guns? Where are guns mostly taken away?
Big cities.
Big cities. Who are in the big cities?
Our people.
Right. So who are they really unarming? And who are all the people that are armed out in the rural areas?
Yep.
Right?
The racists.
Think about it.
You know?
So they're really disarming you.
Really. I tell you, that's a good one.
I'm just saying.
But that's why you got to be prepared. You never know. Go ahead and take that class. I'm all for guns. I'm a big advocate of guns. Because of that, you just have to protect yourself. It's not necessarily going out and doing stuff. It's just being ready. You understand?
I just don't want the government to be out of line. You know what I mean?
And it's a right.
Day, disarm the people. That's not a good thing.
It's a right. At the end of the day, it's your right.
Right.
Just like it's your right to, speak whatever you want, speak your mind. And people do it all the time. Go ahead and get you that piece because it's your right. And then if you don't know about it, get you a class. So there's nothing crazy about owning guns. I'm just saying. I'm always going to have my gun. So whoever wanted. Them zombies want to come, we ready, huh, babe?
Correct.
Yeah. I'm looking at some gun stats online, and it's interesting because I see that the United States has the most gun-related death rates compared to other countries. I mean, I have like 15 countries here, probably more, and the United States has the most. But what's more interesting is that this is talking about 2013. There was 73,505 non-fatal firearm injuries, okay? And 33,636 deaths due to injury by firearms. Out of these, 21,175 were suicides and 11,208 were homicides.
Right.
So basically, a lot of people kill themselves.
A lot more, right?
A lot more
than homicides. And then when you look at the percentages, the percentage is not that high, really, because based on 350 million population,
right?
Was it 30,000?
And you have a lot that are accidental as well.
Right.
Wow.
So where's the crisis?
Then I have here, it says about 1.4 million people have died from firearms in the U.S. between 1968 and 2011. That's not a lot compared to 350 million.
At all.
I'm sure that there are stats of other things that kill people more than
vehicles.
Vehicles.
Vehicles kill people in way more.
Yeah.
Way more than that.
Wow.
So I just don't see the disparity.
And so another thing is, you were saying earlier, is that a good way to look at things is that if the police doesn't have weapons and, citizens don't have weapons, who's going to have weapons?
The criminals.
The criminals.
They'll be the only ones with weapons.
Which is horrible.
Right.
So you still need weapons.
Right. I mean, you can't uninvent it. I get it. It's a terrible weapon, whatever. I can agree with that to a certain extent, but it exists.
It exists.
You can't uninvent it, like I said before.
Right.
You can't make it disappear. That's it. It's too late.
Right.
So now you have to deal with it. Right. And disarming, citizens or law-abiding citizens so that criminals can have it, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
How about go after the criminals?
Right.
Right? Doesn't make any sense.
So this is another thing that I am really against when it comes to weapons, and it's the fact that every state has a different law of, when it comes to weapons. You got open carry in some states. You got concealed weapon, no open carry. You have other states that is everything. You have other states, like New York City, where, goodness gracious, you have to be like a super duper important person for you to get a permit to carry a concealed weapon. This is crazy.
Right, which is confusing to me because I thought the Constitution gave you the right to bear arms, and then you go to a certain state and they're taking it away from you. So it's interesting to find out why they can do that in certain states, because I thought that they had to make laws that reinforce or are in line with the Constitution.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was looking at, what are some instances in history when the people were disarmed and what happened afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's a quote from Adolf Hitler, who said, "To conquer a nation, first disarm its citizens." Right? And then, here's a couple of dates here. In 1911, Turkey disarms its citizens. Then 1.5 million Armenians were slaughtered.
Repeat that.
1911, Turkey disarms its citizens, and then 1.5 million Armenians were slaughtered.
Wow.
1929, Russia disarms its citizens, and 20 million Russians were murdered. 1935, China disarms its citizens, and 20 million Chinese are killed. Germany, 1938, disarms its citizens, and 6 million Jews were killed. 1956, Cambodia disarms its citizens, and 1 million intellectuals were killed.
It goes on and on.
1964, Guatemala. 1970, Uganda, and it goes on and on. Right. I'm sure there was a lot more before that, but that's just in the 20th century.
Right. So that's interesting.
Right.
So go ahead and take our guns.
Right. Yeah, go ahead. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead and take that right away.
Ridiculous.
But this is why I want to, I like living in a state where, I'm able to express my right. to bear arms.
Right.
I don't even know how I would feel living somewhere where I can't have a weapon.
And Texas was awesome.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Texas
here
was
too.
awesome. You could ride. Yeah, it's kind of like the same.
Here too.
Right?
You can have it in your car. You can have it, open carry.
Right.
Conceal.
Yeah, I remember we was in Texas and you could have the gun in your glove compartment and in whatever compartment in the car, but it could have the clip in it, but that's it. And then while we were there, they changed the law. It was like, you can have it locked and loaded.
Yeah, I remember. It was a big stink.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't recommend doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it.
Shoot somebody by mistake.
Locked and loaded.
Nah, I wouldn't lock and load it. I don't do that.
But could you imagine being a police officer and stopping cars?
Right.
When that came out, it's like, oh my God.
That's why they stand behind you. So
Right.
if you look, right, so when they stopped you, I know when I was in Texas and they stopped me, I'd be like, why do I have to turn my neck all the way to the back? Like,
break your neck.
Well, then I thought about it and I was like, oh, okay. Like if I had a weapon, I have to reach all the way around and then try to shoot or whatever. So
and they don't have to. They could come at you.
Right.
So, and still get at you.
So in that sense, I mean, they can protect themselves.
That seems pretty scary.
Right.
But nonetheless, they gave you options.
Right.
And that's cool. And if you think about it, regular citizens are not out there killing people.
How many shootings did we see in Texas? Really?
0.
I mean, we would go to the club and everything. Mad people. There'd be beef.
Everybody got a gun.
Everybody. I know everybody because I know people. They had freaking AKs and shit in the trunk. I mean, we had a gun and thing. You know what I mean? So how many times we went to the club? Mad times. And there would be beef. And there would be stuff like that. And I didn't see nobody come back and shoot up. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Because why? Because I know that the next dude has a weapon. So,
right.
Or maybe, or might.
Or maybe people just don't think of that first. Like,
right.
Really? Like, I mean.
Right.
People are not that bad like that. You know what I mean? Like how you think. Like, they're not going to go and shoot up the club or go and the first thing they're going to think of is shoot.
It's just for protection.
Yeah.
It literally is just for protection.
You know,
if you're a regular citizen.
Right. So, but if you look at TV and you watch TV all day, you would think, oh my God, people are just, if I have it in the trunk, it's a wrap. I'm going over there, I'm getting it. You have beef with me, you stepped on my shoe, I'm getting my gun and I'm shooting everybody.
And that's what people think.
You know what I mean? Because
right.
why? Because it's on TV all day.
Right.
They beat it into your head. That's what people do.
So really it's not what people think, That
right.
What people think is going on out there is not going on. I mean, we somebody like me, I carry my weapon. I never use it. I mean, you don't have to pull it out. You don't have to, nothing.
Right.
It's just in case. Just like a whole lot of things in life.
Like insurance?
Ha. Just in case. All right. But it was a great feeling, and it still is a great feeling to, I don't know, make a wrong turn and be in the wrong neighborhood and be like, I'm good. Because I know, you know what I'm saying? Everything comes at me, I'm good.
Right.
Instead of being scared, like, oh my God, let me get out of here. Where am I going? You know what I mean? Just a quick scenario. So, Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, man. Take advantage of it.
Yes, sir.
Other people do.
I know.
Other people do, so just take advantage of it. If you don't know how to use it, take a class. If you're afraid of it, take a class. Talk to people who have it, who have weapons, police officer, whoever. That's the way I feel. All right, so this is where we're going to end it at, you guys. Thanks for tuning in and listening to us rant over the amendment number 2.
Second Amendment.
Yes, sir.
It's the amendment that protects your other amendments or your other rights.
Absolutely.
Other civil liberties.
Yes. I want you guys to go ahead and listen to us in different podcast platforms. We are on Spotify, Apple,
YouTube.
What else?
UGE Tube, which is a YouTube alternative. I suggest you go to that website. Since YouTube is censoring people.
Oh Lord.
You know what I mean? You go to UGE Tube. It's just like YouTube, and it's uncensored.
And follow us on the different social media platforms. Twitter, we're at Sovereign State 2. Instagram, we should be at Sovereign State Podcast.
Yeah.
Right? And yeah, that's it.
And Facebook.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you for listening to The Sovereign State. Tune in next time for another great episode.